Hello, and welcome back to the Psycholegal Pop Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about popular culture through the lens of an attorney and a therapist. I'm the therapist, Tess Brigham.
And I'm Brooke Brigham. I'm the attorney.
And we are back with Sister Wives, Season 19, Episode 11, the 11th hour. And I just got that, 11th and 11. Whoa. And I have to say, this I thought was the best episode of this season. Best episode I think I've seen in a long time. Really.
Yeah.
Not since The Knife and the Kidneys.
Yeah, probably the best since then. Yeah, we learned a lot.
Yes.
A lot of performances.
Yes. We did learn a lot. I feel like we learned more in this 42 minutes than we have in decades about all of these people. And yeah, Kody is a goddamn monster. Robin is even a bigger monster. These people are awful. I mean, really, really awful.
They're users.
And no sense of awareness. For two people who think they're very, very aware, zero awareness. Zero. It's very frustrating to watch. Very.
Yeah. I hate Robin now more than ever.
Yeah.
She's just evil.
Yeah, she's so interesting. For so long, I denied that she was a bad person because I felt like, God, she's not that bright. Could a dummy, could someone not that bright be so manipulative and so calculating and all this? And I realized that, yeah, they can be. They're just not very good at it. It's the ones that are really good at it that you never see coming. Those are the dangerous people.
I think she's smarter than we think. Because she is very manipulative.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be smart to be manipulative. And all of her manipulativeness really kind of came to a head, I feel like, in this episode.
Well, but we have someone in our life that's very, very manipulative, but she isn't that smart.
No.
Okay.
I know, but she's not a very successful manipulator either. I think Robin.
So you feel like Robin's more successful? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I guess so. Yeah. I can see that.
Because I feel like Robin really has had a lot of people bamboozled.
Mm-hmm.
Including Kody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we're going to start. Do you want to start with should we do the David Christine stuff?
Yeah.
Since it's a little lighter.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is, instead of going, because this entire episode was very much about Christine and David and meeting Janelle and the establishment of their relationship, and then the end of Meri and Kody and the moving. So we're going to divide it into two themes. So let's talk about Christine and David, and then we can talk about Meri and Kody and all that good stuff.
Okay.
All right.
So one thing, it's kind of hard to tell the timeline on this because they do a overhead shot of Christine and David's house. And last week, they were just moving in. There was no landscaping. It was just all dirt all around. Then they show this aerial view of the house and it's all been landscaped, hardscaping in the front, and there's the lawn in the back. And, there's it looks like a little, there's patio furniture and a fire pit, the hot tub's probably set up. So
yeah, because David gets shit done.
Yes, he sure did get that stuff done quickly, or they could have just filmed that later. But I thought, wow, he really did he did what he said he was going to do.
Yeah. It's funny. I didn't notice any of that. I think I need to do what you do, is put the pen down and really just focus on the episode, because I'm just so busy But no, I didn't notice that. That's interesting because, yeah, it does feel very odd. And it also feels like they really got themselves settled into this place very quickly, too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like they moved in the first date and they're just backtracking.
Right.
Like David really owns this house and she moved in right away and we're just pretending like that didn't happen. I don't know anymore.
I don't know either. And the timeline, the David Christine timeline will forever remain a mystery. Now she's claiming that she was talking to him online for 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, how could that be? I mean, I guess, remember David, she contacted him and then obviously his membership lapsed.
Yes.
Then he had to pay the $60 a couple months later when he decided to respond to her. Maybe he didn't realize, maybe he was talking to her and then he canceled the membership and then he didn't realize she was still messaging him till probably one of his kids pointed it out
Yeah.
to him.
Well, you know what? I bet you anything. I bet you that 2 months, like the date that she counts their anniversary is the day that she swiped right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like, it doesn't, and I know you've been out of the dating game, Christine, but like, it doesn't work like that. Like when you swipe them, I think it's really about like when you actually meet them in person and have your first date, you know, is kind of the beginning.
Yeah, she's doing a lot of creative math here.
Yes, because she knows she looks foolish. And I think it would suit her a lot better if she just said, and she does in her own ways, but not direct enough. I think it would do her a lot better if she just said, listen, I hear you. I was all over McKelty on this. And I was, you know, I don't recognize, you know, this isn't who I thought I would be. This isn't any of this, but I love this man. I wanted love and I'm going for it. So here I go.
Yeah.
But like fudging things, like stop fudging things. Just own it.
Yeah.
You know,
it's fine, Christine. We're happy for you.
Yeah. I like David though. I was listening to Amy and Amanda on Little Miss Recap, and they really don't, especially Amanda, really don't like David at all. They just don't find him very compelling. There's not a lot of there, they feel.
Yeah, he's not an exciting guy, but you know, that's the problem women get into, myself included, is that the exciting guys are just a bunch of pain.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, if you want to be happy and you want long-term happiness, you need a guy like David.
Yeah.
You know, you need and I'm sure that David, you know, he's probably not as boring as he comes across on TV. You know, he's probably a little nervous, you know, when being on camera, when he's not used to this.
Yeah. I mean,
but that is what makes him attractive, is that he is like a solid, dependable guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And Christine thinks he's super sexy. And I get what it is. Cause it's funny because I really like him. I see something much more in him. I'm with you. I think he's nervous. Do I think that he's one of our deep thinkers, great thinkers of our time? No, probably not. But at the same time, he's sweet and he's loving and kind, and being a loving, kind person, like developing the patience that he has, someone who's raised all these children on his own. Like to me, that feels like he does have depth.
Yeah.
Like it's easy to be Kody. It's easy to be an ADD crazy person running around making everyone's lives crazy, because that means you never have to change anything. But it's harder to be David.
Yeah, because David has had to suppress his own wants and needs in order to step up to care for his family. He's sacrificed a lot. And like Christine was saying, that he's just so easy. He just shows up. He doesn't have expectations. He doesn't make demands. He just shows up and he's just there.
Yeah. And even Janelle was like, oh, Jesus, God, that sounds heavenly. Because you know Janelle's so annoyed.
Well, that's the thing. They came from being with this man who was just like a walking tornado all the time. And so this really is sexy. You know? This calmness, this, you know, so I get it. I get it, Christine.
I don't know. I think he's super cute. His tattoos.
Because he kind of looks like your husband.
I know he does. He does. He really does, with the hoodies and all.
Yeah, hoodies, you know. Yeah. So anyways, so they are having their kids over to, you know,
make pizza.
Revealed at the engagement. They're engaged. I feel like the kids already.
Well, she said she already told Isabel.
Right. But here's what I when she said she told Isabel because she's like having the hardest time, I thought to myself, well, what about Truly? Did you tell Truly in advance?
I don't know.
Truly's going to have to live with this guy.
I don't know. I get the sense that Truly this year was like, very little of me, please. Like, we have not seen
the camera frame. She's always sort of in the back, like trying to get away from everybody.
I get the sense that I believe that she probably did tell Truly. I believe that she did. And no, she had to have. Truly was there.
Oh, that's right.
She was in the back seat. That's right. So Truly always knew. So I think Truly's been a part of it the whole time. I don't know how much Christina's talking to Truly about this, but I think but I think Truly's just kind of like, I don't want to be interviewed. I don't want to, you know, and Isabel's willing to.
Well, and here's another timeline issue. Okay. Is that later on when Janelle arrives, Christine says that they got engaged in Flagstaff. Did you catch that? And Janelle said, "Oh, you mean when you went down there?" And Christine's like, "Yeah, yeah." And I was assuming she meant when you went down there for Gwen's engagement party.
Mm-hmm.
And she said it happened then. I swear to God. She said that it happened in Flagstaff. But that video
I didn't catch that at all.
was in Moab in Utah.
I did not catch that. That she said that about Flagstaff. So if someone out there heard something, please tell us. We're very confused.
I stopped it and like rewound it because I was like, what did she say? I wrote it down. So anyway, someone, tell me I'm not crazy.
But of course, Christine, and I love how Peyton really has his mother's number. He basically says, she's like, "Oh, do you want to see some videos of us in Moab?" And, then she puts it up and, it's very theatrical and, but Peyton's like, "We just need to react to it properly. We just need to kind of, go along." And there we go. So,
yeah. And in fact, it seemed like she was upset that it didn't get to be drawn out more because they immediately looked at the video and they could tell what was happening. I mean, he immediately gets down on one knee and they're like, "Oh, I mean, they're not stupid." And she's like, "Oh, well, they didn't even let me, what did she say? Oh, she said they could have let us reveal it." And it's like, well, but they're watching it, right? What are you talking about? It's right there. So yeah, Christine wanted more of a build up, I guess.
Of course. Well, she's like a 20-year-old. Do you know what I mean? This is like the biggest thing. And this is when Aspen says, "I didn't realize how unhappy my mom was with my dad until I saw her with David." And you're like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, another thing that I thought was strange, Christine said a lot of goofy stuff in this episode. So talking about Isabel saying, she's saying that she told Isabel, "We're moving fast right now, but nothing else is happening. We moved in with each other. We're engaged. Nothing else is happening until the wedding planning stuff. This is it." This is it. That was a lot, Christine. In 3 months?
Yeah.
4 months, whatever. I've lost track of the time.
Well, it's like, yeah, Christine, it's it because you've done it all.
Right.
Like, it's not like you started dating and that's it. Or you just, moved in together. It's like you went all the way.
Exactly. And then she says, there's nothing else until the wedding planning. Well, the wedding is in 7 months. So you got to.
But they've got their place secure, Brooke. They've got the location. So,
I mean, you're not helping, Christine. Just admit that, this is fast and just try to, keep it together.
Yeah. Just be like, "Listen, I'm 50 years old. I've never been loved like this. I want to enjoy my life. Here I go."
Yeah. I mean, okay. It is what it is. I hope Isabel's okay.
I don't know. Okay. So then let's move on to the next section. Okay. So then we see Janelle is coming over to Christine's new house, and Janelle hasn't met David yet. And then we get into the whole story about Janelle and how I guess the Montana land was too expensive. So they found a farm in North Carolina, as we all know. And yeah, it looks like they're going to go. I mean, it sounds like they're going for it, right?
Well, we know they eventually bought it. Yeah.
Yeah. So but do you think, I can't figure out timeline wise if they were just sort of the beginnings of talking about this or if they were already planning something. I don't know.
But I mean, I still don't understand what they're going to do on this farm. And to me, again, it's kind of like, I know these people kind of fancy themselves as, we talked about this before, sort of homesteaders or something. And it's just like, so far I have not seen any of you do anything remotely like this. I don't think they know what they're doing. It's also very expensive. Hobby farms, that's rich people.
Yeah.
Okay. Then that's what this is. It's a hobby farm.
You know who has chickens? Meghan Markle and Harry.
Yeah.
Prince Harry. Yeah. Martha Stewart. Those people have chickens.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know how many flowers you'd have to sell to make that land productive?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, no, this is not some factory farming, I think that they're way in over their head. I don't know what their plans sound very bare.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, they're selling t-shirts. And how did they come up with the name Tata? Is it called Tata? Have we been down? I think we've been down this road again.
It's the name of the tree.
That's right.
That
Okay,
grows
got it.
predominantly on the property.
All right, I got to retain that. But then we get into a really juicy section where Christine asks about Coyote Pass. And they get into this whole thing about how there's this big balloon payment coming up. Janelle says, Kody tells her that he has the money, that everything's going to be okay. And she wants him to buy her out, but he doesn't have the money for that. And then, of course, Janelle's like, well, Kody. The bill will come due and he doesn't have the money and he blames someone else. And it's never his fault. I was like, ooh, we're getting into some juice here.
Yep. No, it's never Kody's fault. It's always someone else,
But I think what we're learning is that this dynamic between Janelle and Kody wasn't sort of what we thought. Before it always felt like this partnership. And it seems like what would happen is exactly what's happening now. It's almost like they're replaying the relationship over and over again right now with this Coyote Pass thing where Janelle plans and worries and worries and worries and worries and has to then sit there with a pit in her stomach wondering if he's actually going to come through. And if he comes through, great. And if he doesn't come through, then it's her fault. That's the sense I get.
Yeah. This whole money thing was so interesting because she talked about how basically, he and Christine confirmed this, that they had this one family account and that he would, out of that, write them a check for their share, whatever that is. And if they wanted something more, they had to go to him and ask him, and he would write the check. Of course, he comes back and says, well, everyone had access to it. And it's like, well, it kind of doesn't sound that way. It kind of sounds like you held the checkbook and nobody was going to go withdraw money without your permission. And he decided where the money was going to go. And then Janelle just recorded it. But then I'm thinking, well, Janelle, if all these years you were recording who was given what or who paid for what or this or that, why didn't red flags come up for you a long, 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 long time ago?
Yeah, that's a very good question.
Why didn't you go and tell the other wives or kind of band together? It's like Janelle was just sort of passively watching this happen and not saying anything. And now she's finally, upset. Well, why weren't you upset back when you were he was writing checks for Robin's babysitters and stuff? Yeah. They paid for her nannies. So,
it's a very good question. And that's one of the things I find Janelle a bit perplexing because I think that she's been described as this person who is very, very strong and strong-willed and that she knew and she could stand up for herself. But, if you watch the rewinds, you'll see that Janelle is very meek and very, very timid in the beginning of doing this show. But I just thought it was just because she was shy and didn't want to do it. But I'm wondering, maybe she was a lot meeker.
Yeah.
Maybe right when, I think it was that. And I also think that, again, this is kind of like what they do in cults where they work you so hard that you can't even think. Janelle was getting up every day and getting to work before her kids got up, working all day long, coming home, taking care of 6 kids or more, or whatever that was, and then getting up the next day and doing it again. I mean, I think she and Christine and Meri were just exhausted.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. And they confirmed that basically Kody could spend whatever he wanted.
Yes. That was interesting.
He was obviously in charge. And it was, I forget what I was going to say. Anyway. Yeah. Oh, when she was talking about how Kody likes to attack people in an area that's important to them.
Yes. This was this whole thing.
Yeah. So because Christine, the physical affection and the intimacy was important to her. So it was like, well, I was never attracted to you.
And being attractive, being wanted. Yeah. It's important to Christine.
And financial independence, all that kind of stuff was important to Janelle, even though she didn't really act like it.
Mhm.
But now he's, attacking her in that area, being like, you don't have any financial say in any of this. And, I'll pay it off when I want to. And no, I don't have any money for you. So yeah,
Mhm.
he hits people. He knows like where to kind of hit people to the point where they kind of are paralyzed, like
Mhm. Yeah.
can't stand up for themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because it's very clear that Christine understood how the money worked, understood that. So why didn't Meri understand that? Because Meri should have, right? But were Kody and Robin telling her something different this whole time? And then Christine saying, well, if you controlled the money, everything would be different. We would have paid off the land, the house, there would be a house on Coyote Pass, all this stuff would happen. And so there's a little bit of like, yeah, then why, if you felt so that you knew, if Janelle was the one that should have been doing this, why didn't Christine or Janelle say anything? And when did Meri stop recognizing what was happening? Because they were together for 20 years before Robin showed up.
I think Meri always got more than Christine and Janelle.
You think?
Well, and they even say so. It was always like, well, she's getting the same amount as we are, and she only has one child, and we each have 6. And,
yeah. And we've talked about that, how incredibly ridiculous that is.
And she always, like they say, she liked nice things, and, she had to have the same big house, all that. So I think she just sort of set a precedent because she was the first wife.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of had that first wife energy, which is why no one liked her because, she was, I think, mean and bossy. And so she was satisfied. Apparently.
Yeah, I think now that I'm thinking about it, I think what it was that like everyone got the same amount and then Kody controlled the rest. And I think what happened was that because Meri always had extra money because she only had one kid, she never had to go to Kody for those extras. And so she didn't realize that. She didn't realize that's what was happening. And it sounds like Christine and Janelle had to go to him a lot, because you have 6 kids and they need, God, what if someone needs dental work or something? I mean, all of these little things that would happen, or someone needs a new jersey or a new thing or this or that they were constantly going to Kody. And so maybe they felt it a lot more, the money piece. And they felt that it was being controlled a lot more than Meri maybe even recognized.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, they clearly have different takes on this. Because, Meri was not bothered by the Coyote Pass thing. And she was like, oh, well, I trust Kody to do this or that. But Janelle doesn't trust him.
Yeah. I mean, well, Meri says right after that, she says, well, Kody and Robin say one thing, Janelle says another. She doesn't think that either are being 100% truthful. I'm like, huh? So is this where you leave things? Like, okay. That seems so odd to me. So let me get this straight. Because Janelle talks about how she had not spoken to Meri in a year and a half when they sat down, and that Janelle was very much like, I don't know. The conversation was really weird. I told her to protect herself and she got very weird with me about it. And, so I don't know. I've just lost my train of thought yet again, but the thing is, crap. Let's just keep moving forward. Sorry. I had a really good point. Now it's gone. What was I talking about?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Money.
Meri. Here it is. Sorry. So it's a little alarming that you're saying that you don't trust the 3 other people that you have property with. And your solution is, I don't think anyone's telling the truth. And then you walk away. Do you know what? It's a little bit like, So even if you don't really agree with Janelle and you're not that worried about it, if you think there's something up here, why aren't you doing anything about it? You still think something's up, right, Meri? Even whether you think Janelle is exaggerating or not, you feel like Robin and Kody aren't being truthful. Well, that's the part that's a little bit like, why are you just burying your head in the sand?
Well, I think maybe she hasn't fully processed all of this yet, because when she gave that interview, she's just getting all this new information and she's trying to decide, okay, well, what's going on? Who do I believe? Because in the scenes from the next episode, they show them they're paying off the property, and now they have to decide, well, who gets what are their interests. And Meri says something about, she's not, that she's going to look out for herself. She's going to make sure she gets what she's due. So maybe it was just kind of a delayed reaction because she was just learning about all this stuff.
Yeah, that's possible. But then they both agree, Janelle and Christine agree, oh, thank God she's moving to Parowan. Oh, God, thank God she's leaving Flagstaff. Yeah, she needs to get a life.
Yeah, no, I mean, agreed. And finally. They have a little bit of tattoo talk.
Yes.
Janelle is shocked that Christine, of all people, would get a tattoo because she was so against tattoos. And so was Kody. And so, I think this is obviously a reaction. And this is where she breaks out her, engagement ring, tells her they're engaged. And this is where she says that David asked her when they were in Flagstaff. So
I thought what I wrote down was that she just mentioned how the thing that I picked up was that Kody came to Gwen's party for a hot second. So I was like, oh, interesting. Was that the only time he was there? Like what we saw,
yeah.
Like the two of them rocking those babies for like 30 minutes. And did they then pack it up and go?
Probably.
Yeah. But so I think she was saying something about like getting the two of them together, blah, 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 blah. I think they meant more. It wasn't about getting engaged. It was about meeting Kody.
Oh, I don't know.
That's what I thought. But okay.
Anyway. Well,
so
the video shows them in Moab, so I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know what that was about.
So,
so then David's home.
Yes, David is back. David comes home and they get to meet, and she's like getting him to take a shirt off for Janelle to show his sexy tattoos. I'm like, oh, Christine, she doesn't need to see all these tattoos. You know what I mean? It's a little bit like, oh, look at this, look at that. Anyway.
She's proud of her man.
She is so proud of her man. She is so proud of her man. Trust me.
Yeah.
I'd wipe down those counters, Janelle. You don't know what those two of them do.
Yeah.
I'd wash my hands because these two are just all over each other. Poor Truly. No wonder Truly's hiding.
Yeah, Truly has seen some things.
Yeah, Truly's just like, oh, God. And Janelle points out that this is the exact guy Christine has been looking for. And he's very much, when we watch that one-on-one, after season 17, this is, David is just described as somewhat, he's not Jason Momoa, but he's closer to it than Kody is.
Yeah. She says she went from, Kody hair to no hair and, no tattoos to tattoos.
Yeah, it's interesting. She said, was this Janelle that said this, that she's always been attracted to the bad boy? Or maybe that's Christine has always been attracted to the bad boy. And it's interesting because, this is the thing, is that honestly, Kody is the bad boy. Kody does all the fuck boy things that bad boys do.
He has a motorcycle.
But he does a lot of the manipulative, breadcrumbing bullshit, not being honest with you, all over the place. Like, yeah. And I think that if we take a moment, I think that in Christine's 20-year-old brain, like that seemed really sexy. And I think she's been trying to capture that with Kody this entire time. And now she's out of it. And she's like, oh, wow, I can have this person who's quote unquote a bad boy, but not really, because David's not.
Right. He's not.
He's not a bad boy. You're right. He's not a fuck boy. He's cool and he's got, tattoos and the motorcycle and all that other kind of stuff. But he's out there drywalling. He's getting the hot tub. He's putting it in. The fuck boy is the one that's going to tell you they're going to put it in and they don't.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. Kody is a fuck boy. His attitude, he's just so fucking full of himself. He loves the attention of multiple women. He's always, he thinks he's kind of studly,
Yeah.
It's like, sorry, I have news for you.
Well, and then when Christine turns to Janelle and says, yeah, and he doesn't expect anything. He's very chill. Janelle's like, oh, God. Oh, wow. So
what's that like?
So then you start to wonder, like, do you think that, I think this is what would happen every night, especially once Robin came in, was I think that he barged into the house. What's for dinner? What's happening? Whose shoes are these? Ba, 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 ba. Did you do this for me? Did you, ba, ba, ba. You know, I think he was like a like just a Tasmanian devil coming in, barking orders, asking questions. What's going on with this? What's going on with that? And then disrupting everything. And then the next day he's gone. You know, like a...
Yeah, he's like a cyclone.
Yes.
You know? It just comes in and tears everything up and leaves.
Yeah. And I think that's what would happen. And I think that Janelle thought that, and I guess I'm wondering if both Janelle and Christine thought that polygamy was for them because they thought that that's what a quote unquote normal marriage would be with Kody. Like every single day with Kody, this idea of like, oh no, that's marriage. I don't want that. That's too much. Like, no, you know, because
they can only take him in small doses.
Yeah, exactly. And so they thought like, oh, this is marriage. This is good enough. This is what this is.
Yeah.
Though Janelle had been married before, which she never really talks about.
Yeah.
And I would love to know why that first marriage didn't work out. I wish she would just tell us.
Yeah. I don't know. It only lasted, I think it lasted less than a year, like 11 months or something. I don't know. It must have been bad for it to just fizzle out so quickly. And then also I think that, it has something to do with why Meri and Janelle clashed with each other, I'm sure.
Psych Legal Pop. We'll be back after these messages.
So, it was interesting. At some point, Kody said that, we'll get there.
Yeah. Well, so I think we're kind of done. I mean, basically, this is all of what we see with them.
With Christine.
Yeah. Christine's happy. Janelle likes him. Everyone thinks he's great. We're moving forward.
Moving on.
Truly's in the basement somewhere, hiding, like slowly rocking.
Oh, poor Truly.
Oh, Truly.
Okay, so it's moving day at Meri's house, but she's not packed.
No, not at all. I'm like, today? She's like, well, everything has to come out today. I'm like, what? This place is huge. And there's a huge house.
Yeah, there's stuff all over the walls that hasn't been taken down or packed up. There's stuff just randomly all over the floor, all over the counters. And it's like, okay.
Well, this hands down was the best scene where Kody and Nathan come out of the truck and both of them have their gloves.
Yes, they're ready.
They both had their moving gloves ready to go and they are pumped.
They're excited. I think Kody loves moving.
I think so.
I think he gets off on it.
Because he's your age or a few years older than you. So even if this is a couple years ago, like moving seems so exhausting to me at my age. Like the idea of having to move, like some of those things that they were moving down the stairs, I was like, that's a young man's game.
Exactly.
I'm not doing that. That's crazy. So, and that's the part, like, you're excited about this?
No, I think
bet you bought new gloves.
Makes him feel manly. You know?
I think
it's
so.
Like, oh, look at me moving all this heavy stuff.
And then driving the car to Parowan. I mean, how many hours is that? Like all of it just seems like, what?
Yeah, I think it's at least, 5 hours or something.
Or maybe the producers at Puddle Monkey have convinced Kody, they're like, God, when you move, people love that.
Women love it.
Women love it when you move. Can you get a new, here, we're going to expand your glove budget. Can you get some new gloves? And bring Nathan with you.
Get him some gloves too. Hurt his hands.
Yes. Poor Nathan. Okay.
And coincidentally, that it's would have been their 33rd anniversary.
I know. That's even more bizarre.
Yeah.
Even more bizarre.
Yeah. And Kody says he's ready for her to move on and he's glad to help her move. It's like, oh, okay, so you're here to make sure she actually gets out of town.
That she leaves the state.
Yes. Got to make that happen.
And so then, so this was this dynamic with Meri and Kody that I found so perplexing, the whole thing. And Meri's saying something about like not feeling uncomfortable, not being this. It's like, hey, I'm just letting it all hang out. because we're not married anymore. And I'm thinking to myself, well, then who have you been the last 33 years? Like, so I think it's very telling that now that you are divorced from this man, or whatever you want to call it, spiritual release from this man, that you now feel like you can actually be who you are.
Yeah. And Kody says that she's acting like the wife that he always wanted her to be.
Yeah. So it's a little bit like, so what has been happening this whole time? If this is who Meri is, she must have shown that to you in the beginning. She must have figured out pretty quickly somewhere along the way that how she is right now isn't good or right or something, right?
Well, yeah, because he keeps saying that before they got married, this is how she was before they got married.
Mm-hmm.
She was like this fun-loving person. They had a lot of fun together and they laugh and joke just like they're doing today. And so I don't know what happened as soon as they had the wedding and they got married. She just started acting differently. Why? I don't know. I would really like some concrete examples of what he means by this. How can you just change so drastically overnight?
And that's the part that's perplexing, because I think it would be one thing if Meri was wife number 2 or 3 and he, you got kids, you're in this, she's coming in, and maybe you didn't realize that, oh yeah, she was fun before we got married, and then you get caught up with life. But the two of them, when they first got together, I mean, it took Meri a while to get pregnant. So like it's just the two of them for a while.
For a couple of years.
Yeah. So what happened? Like, at what point did Meri stop being herself, and or did she stop being herself by her choice, or did she feel like she had to for you? Because she does say, she admits she feels like she's been walking on eggshells for a long, long time.
Well, I remember that she said that she thought that after they got married, she would be pregnant like right away.
Mm-hmm.
She thought within a few months she would be pregnant.
Because that's what they all told her only value and worth was.
Exactly. And she grew up in that culture. And so, yeah. And so I think what happened was, 3 months go by, 6 months, 9 months, a year goes by, she's not pregnant. She's feeling inadequate. She's on edge. Kody's probably like, what's happening? What's the problem? Because they're both getting pressure probably from their families.
Mm-hmm.
And they're in this church, in this community where they're not living up to. And I think that was too much pressure and stress for Meri, and she took it out on him.
Mm-hmm. It's possible.
And then took it out on him when she's still going to get pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
And then Janelle had a baby first.
I can't imagine how devastating that would be.
Yeah.
That would be heartbreaking.
I just think she just always was just pissed off about all of that.
Mm-hmm. And unhappy.
Yeah.
And if she had a partner that loved her and supported her, maybe she would have reacted differently to all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just...
She was 19.
But the other thing too is, this is my other theory, which is this whole walking on eggshells.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible that we do know that when the series started, they said they were having hard times, like things were rough between the two of them. But is it possible that the worst of it really happened once the show happened, Robin came in? Because was Robin feeding things about Meri to Kody? Do you know what I mean? That whole walking on eggshells thing of like, I get the sense that Robin was saying one thing to Kody and another thing to Meri.
Mm-hmm.
That was maybe confused. Like, so both of them kept reacting to the other one in a different way. Because when she said walking on eggshells, I'm like, I can imagine that's how Meri's been feeling for the last 7-8 years. When she's been sitting around, as we learned last week, with your list of things that she needs to do for Kody between now and then. Like, my God. So you're married to this man all this time and he turns to you and says, no, you need to fulfill this list.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm wondering if was Robin saying one thing to her and Kody another?
Well, we know now that she's very manipulative and she probably was. And and that whole thing, that special relationship between them faded out, I think, pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah.
And everything after that was performative, the offering to be a surrogate. And Christine even says it in this episode. She's like, I'm so mad about this thing that, Robin has been manipulating Meri for years.
Yes.
Very frustrating to watch.
Yes.
So, I think Robin came in. She needed an ally coming in to the family.
Mm-hmm.
And she chose Meri and she manipulated her. She didn't care about her, clearly. Anyway, we'll get to that.
Well, we learned that, good for you, Meri. Meri bought a new bedroom set.
Yes.
And I think that's good. You need new sheets, new everything. You just wash that man right out of your hair there, Meri.
Well, yeah. And she said that when they bought it, when they first moved to Las Vegas and they bought it, it was the first time they ever had a new bedroom set.
Yeah. How old was she? 40?
I mean, yeah. They didn't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
So yeah, good riddance. Kody, well, this is worth something. I don't know.
Oh God.
Well, take it, Kody. If you want it, you take it. Go sell it. God, I mean, that's just gross.
All right. So we need to talk about this next moment, because this moment was one where I'm thinking to myself, God, you guys are a bunch of dorks. So Meri is already in the truck, and
no, Kody's in the truck.
Well, no, Meri's actually hidden in the back of the truck. So Kody is walking up. No, wait.
No,
yeah, because Nathan pushes Kody into Meri.
No. Kody is in the truck. Nathan and Meri are moving this exercise bike up the ramp. Meri is walking backwards at the front of the bike. Nathan is at the back of the bike pushing it. So they get it up into the truck, and Kody is in there. And so the back of Meri, she doesn't see him. The back of Meri bumps into the front of Kody. And then Nathan, who just thinks this is hilarious, kind of pushes the bike and pushes her into Kody. And then Meri damn near has a mental breakdown.
Yes.
Because this is the closest she actually touched, her ass touched Kody's junk. Okay?
Yeah, I guess I got that wrong. I switched them. Meri's the little spoon, Kody's the big spoon. But,
exactly.
But it seems so momentarily. You know what I mean? It was a little bit like, like 2 seconds.
Well, it took a minute for them to separate, because she's trapped. Nathan is pushing the bike. He's got the bike, trapping them in this position. And Meri is just laughing her ass off and bent over laughing. And, Kody feels a little violated, I think.
No, I think Kody, it's weird. I think Kody had a feeling for the first, I think he was like, oh, wait a second. But yeah, she is dying of laughter. She's like, this is the closest we've been in years, 8 or 9 years. So, and then she goes into this whole thing about how she has this full bladder and it's so uncomfortable and it's awkward and it's funny. And then she's worried about peeing her pants and, all of that kind of stuff. And I'm like, and then Kody goes into this whole thing where he kind of intellectualizes it. Well, it was very sexual in nature. It's funny, but wrong. It's harmless, but I don't want Robin to blah, 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 blah. I'm like, you all are the biggest dorks I've ever met in my entire life. You think that like bumping up against someone is the biggest, I mean, God, you guys got to get out. Like, it was so dumb. I was like, you guys are so,
But Meri's reaction was so over the top that it was like, I think she maybe had an orgasm in her pants.
You know what it is? I bet you anything. She felt a little something with Kody. Like Kody had some movement. And I bet you anything. She was like, I still got it. I can still turn him on. Look at me. Not just you, Robin. But yeah, it was so nothing. It was such a nothing moment that then defined the end of their marriage.
Oh, yeah, it was very, very odd. And Meri just couldn't stop laughing, and she probably did pee her pants a little.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, yeah. And we learned Kody says Meri is on point today. She's the kind of woman I would have wanted to been married to. So, because she's just being so goofy. And apparently Meri's Instagram is really annoying. I haven't been watching it, but apparently like Meri is going on there now that she's got all this like Miss Independence, like she's Miss Single Lady. And apparently she's just been doing all of these like really goofy Instagram, just kind of like jumping on social media trends from 7-8 months ago, you know?
Yeah. And trying to, there was one where she was talking about, that dating website, like Farmers Only.
Mm-hmm.
She was on a tractor or something, and
I heard about
was,
this.
pretending like she's making some sort of a video for Farmers Only or something. It's really bad.
Yeah. But she just laughs the whole time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's like herself up.
Oh yeah, she does. And listen, I crack myself up all the time too. But if I was on a video where I was trying to do a bit, I'd keep it together. But yeah, Kody goes into this whole thing where we see. So that's the beginning. That was them. Wait a minute. Did I lose time?
No,
I'm moving time. Sorry.
So so that happens in the truck, and
yes,
and has a good laugh. Then they show them again. They're back in the truck, and they're loading stuff. This is a little bit later. They're loading up something, and they're just still laughing. Mary's laughing her ass off. They're all having fun. And then, wah, wah, here comes Robin.
Okay. So I just want to point out a few things right here. Now, number one, when someone is moving, bringing them a gift is fucking annoying. I'm sorry, but what this person is doing is they're taking all of their crap, putting it in a box and getting it in a truck. And basically you're just coming along going, here's more.
Yeah.
Here's more shit for you to just move. So giving someone I was just like, God, that is so tone deaf. I'm sorry. I saw one as she was walking. And then she goes to this whole thing of like how, this moving was so emotionally draining for her that she could not come and help move, which I'm going to start using as an excuse.
Yeah, I just don't have the emotional energy to help you.
Yeah, I am so sad you're leaving. And so I'm going to take the day. And here's some shit from my house to yours for you to pack up and figure out how to then ship that over there too.
Yeah.
That was just the lamest excuse. I mean, like, oh, I'm so sad.
Yeah. And
that I can't help.
Kody says that she's not, talking about Robin, she's not well about this. This is a heartbreak of extreme proportions that I don't understand.
Yeah, because I think Kody is, again, I think that this is part of Robin's manipulation. And I think Robin's doing this whole song and dance. And I think Cody's going, this is so weird because, she never calls Meri or wants to spend any time with her. Why is she so unhappy?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the part that I don't think Cody's getting that, yeah, Kody, this doesn't match.
Well, I think I know the answer. Robin is doing this because she does not want to look like the bad person, nor does Kody. And that's why Kody starts crying too later. They both have been manipulating her, stringing her along for 7, 8, 9, 10 years, whatever it's been. And now she is finally standing up for herself and leaving. And she's not sad about it. She's not crying. She's able to be like, okay, well, it is what it is. She's laughing. She's having a good time. And she says, she's like, Robin is very emotional. I don't want to be emotional. I'm fine. I'm happy. And Robin keeps saying, oh, I just want you to be happy. And she's like, I am happy. I have a good life. I mean, Robin's trying to make this into something that it's not. And Robin's just trying to make herself look good.
I guess the two of them have been living in the comment section. I mean, apparently they've seen how they are not very popular. So maybe they felt like they had to do all of this, but it was just the sadness. And then it's like, yeah, God, lady, you coming over here and you just such a bummer.
Yeah.
And then you won't even help. And she's there for like 5 minutes and then gives her a junk journal. And at first I was like, oh, that's so nice. I thought that Robin had spent a bunch of time going through and getting pictures of their lives together and things and memories. I'm like, no, it's a blank journal that she just probably had Brianna. Like, Brianna, zhuzh this up for me, will you?
Yeah.
And then gives it to Meri.
On there. Yeah.
And then Mary's got to pack it away. It's just, I was like, God. But yeah, this is where Christine talks about the frustration and how a real friend would say, get out of this marriage. And then Robin's like, well, Christine doesn't know anything about my relationship with Meri. And it's like, well, why is it that everyone has the same opinion?
I mean,
You know,
Robin says that.
Yeah,
Robin says
yeah.
that.
It's a little bit of like, okay. I mean, Meri has the same opinion almost that Christine does. She's getting there.
Yeah, no, I mean, Meri has been very non-responsive to all of Robin's antics. You know, the picnic table antics, all of it. Mary's just being polite. You know, instead of calling her out and saying, why are you crying? You know, she's just kind of sitting there and letting her do her thing and not saying anything.
Yeah.
But she does not buy into Robin's view of all of this.
Yeah. Well, good. Because it felt like for such a long time she did. She really did. And then she says something about how she keeps her emotions guarded and she only shares it with certain people that she can trust. So it sounds like, you know what I think? I think that Robin has been telling Meri one story for a long, long time. And I think that once she saw Kody in season 17, when he said, I don't even feel like I'm married to Meri anymore. I think that's when things started clicking.
Yeah, because Robin was lying to her saying, no, Kody does care about you. He does want to try to get to work things out with you. No, Robin has dragged this out for so long and just made Meri's life miserable, quite frankly. And Meri sees it and she's just being polite about it. And just like, okay, Robin, please leave. And then we're treated to another scene, one of her self-filmed crying sessions in the car for further manipulation and further like, oh, woe is me. And, you know, saying that she says this is just too much.
It's one heartbreak after another. What heartbreaks? What are you talking about? Like, you barely, Christine and Janelle, like another heartbreak? What are you talking about? What other heartbreak? These are people you don't have a relationship with, that you don't talk to. Meri, who was there, you don't even hang out with. How is this another heartbreak? I don't know. And then we get into the whole thing of like, what do we do with the mission statement?
Take it to the dump.
Well, then Kody gets into this whole thing. He's like, you know, you can blame me for the end of my family, you know, and this mission statement, it was the pinnacle. We were inspired. It was the pinnacle of joy. And, you know, I just never knew how to do it. This plural marriage, you know, it was functionally workable and, you know, big picture, blah, 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 you know, going into his whole song and dance. Now, again, have you noticed that Kody, every single time we go back in time, the best time of my life was with Caleb. I was at my best when we were doing the mission statement. I was at my best when we were here, right? Like all of this. No. This is when we were at our best. This is when we were good. This is when it was this.
Yeah.
He cannot focus with what's happening now at all.
No, and he can't take responsibility. You know, he's trying to say, well, we didn't know how to do this plural marriage thing. And it's like, well, but Kody, you were the head of this family, which you reminded people of, you know, every day. And you were the one who was supposed to, you took on the responsibility of the head of this family. But now it's not you, it's we. We didn't know how to do this. Oh, okay. I mean...
Yeah, and that's my issue about Kody, that he's not a good leader because, yeah, Kody, it's on you. And guess what? You're the one that gets to decide where the money goes. You get to be the head. These women orbit around you. You get to have a lot of control and say in things and how things are run. And if things stop running well, then quite frankly, yeah, the boss has to take ownership of that. Yeah, there's lots of little factors that come into play, but it's on you to figure out how to do this. And that's the thing. He's kind of acting like, oh, I didn't know how to do this. It's like, you know what, Kody, none of us know how to do our lives when we, you know, nobody knows what the hell they're doing. We just all figure it out. And don't blame other people.
Yeah. Cry a river.
He is just exhausting. But then he talks about how Meri changed right after we got married. And it's been hard until now. And now she's his favorite wife.
Yeah. Favorite ex-wife.
And And of course, Meri, has to make all these jokes. That's the part that I find the most painful. To like all these jokes, like, oh, Jen, I'm the favorite. I knew I would be the favorite eventually. I knew, oh gosh, it's just, this is really like, Meri, don't do this to yourself.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Well, when they get to Parowan, is this a new day? Because they're all in different clothes.
Yeah, I think that they probably packed up the stuff, probably like went and then like got a good night's sleep, and then everyone left. And then poor Nathan is still obligated to be here for this. I thought Nathan was going to get out of this, but nope, he's there.
No, he's got to give Kody a ride back.
So. Yeah, that's true. That's we probably had to drive separately. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jen, the BFF, comes over, and then we go into this whole thing about like Meri feeling weird about Kody. Like, do you want to come into my bedroom? Is that weird for me to ask my ex to come into my bedroom? And again, I wrote down, God, these people are dorks.
He was just in your old bedroom.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think's going to happen? There's a camera crew here, Meri. Like,
calm down.
What's going to happen? Oh, but this is that whole polygamy humor. Humor. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Well, Robin doesn't like polygamy humor because she says, I've been terrorized about coming into this family, so let's respect this. Huh?
Oh, I think maybe, is it Janelle? Well, so he goes into this whole thing that Janelle and Robin don't like polygamy jokes.
Yeah. And then he also acknowledged that when Janelle came into the family, she also didn't get full acceptance.
Got it. And that's one of his biggest regrets.
Yeah.
You notice that these regrets get bigger and bigger. Like the list of regrets, we're now at like 4 or 5.
Yeah, it's growing. It's growing. Yeah. And then the crescendo is, he starts to say goodbye and he starts crying.
Yeah.
Like really crying. I'd never seen Kody cry. He was sobbing at times. And he's saying it's the end of an era. He's giving Meri this big hug. And Meri has this look on her face like, what's happening?
Yeah. Well, and if I was Meri, I would be fucking livid. I would be like, you have got to be kidding me here. I have been here the whole time. You have been, terrible. And Meri does admit, like, she did have a hard time with it, in the beginning. And she is owning that. But like, can you imagine this man that basically tells the world, like, I don't even think I'm married to this woman. I mean, I'm not attracted to her. She sucks, all this stuff. And then finally you're at the end saying goodbye. And it's like, oh God, it's an end of an era. And then we had something special. And it's like, what? Then treat people nicely in the moment. This is the problem that people have. And again, I just want to point this out. And this is what bad bosses do too. They treat you like shit, and then you go, and then they're like sobbing on your last day because they realize, oh, you were really good. I treated you like crap, or like, I should have figured this out. It's like, no, then take care of stuff in the moment. Like, Kody, you still can have a relationship with all these women. Just be a human now. Be nice. The fact that he cannot get the fact that this was behavior that he should have. This is how you should have acted 10 years ago.
Well, this is all performative, just like Robin. Because he doesn't want to look like the bad guy who abandoned Meri and strung her along for 10 years. So now he's going to start crying, thinking that we're all going to forget about all that. And then we're just going to focus on how sad he is and, how they had something special and it all went to shit. But he's not bitter and angry anymore. Now he's just mourning the loss of his, big polygamist family. And Meri just doesn't understand what he's talking about.
Yeah. She's like, why is he sobbing? It didn't have to be this way. It didn't have to be this way. And I think, and that's the thing. It's a little bit of like your crocodile tears now. Like, really?
Yeah.
Come on. Like, and now I'm supposed to what? Be the better person and emotionally take care of you now because you're sobbing and you're unhappy. It's a little bit like, fuck, man, can you just leave? You know?
Because he hasn't touched Meri in years. And now he's like, he's hugging her, sobbing on her shoulder and won't let go. I mean, how awkward. And she had a very uncomfortable look on her face.
Yeah.
I think she didn't know what to do or what to make of it because, he's been pushing her away. She finally leaves. And then all of a sudden now he's like moving towards her.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he apologizes for the last 7 years. I wish the two of them would figure out what this timeline is.
Yeah.
10
7
years,
to
7
10
years,
years.
5, this,
Yeah.
whatever it is. But he does have to tell us that he is still angry. He's still in the angry phase with Janelle and Christine, but he's moved to the sad phase for Meri. Like, okay, we're moving forward here.
Yeah. And I also think he's starting to move towards the sad phase of his children, because he says, I'm mourning the loss of this big polygamist family.
Of course.
So, yeah, it's starting to hit home to him that his kids are not going to come crawling back. And that in order to repair the relationships with them, he is going to have to work his ass off.
Yeah, he's going to have to. Yeah, he's going to have to do some emotional labor.
Yeah.
And you can't be a narcissistic pain in the ass. You're going to have to do some work.
Yeah, you're going to have to take some responsibility.
So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. They're hugging. And then we see scenes for next week. And it's like, Kody's still at the inn. I'm like, fuck. God, leave.
Leave already. But then they show Meri. I'm hoping that this is like one of those clips that's taken out of context, because she says, maybe I did the wrong thing. Now, I don't think that means that she's regretting leaving. I think she's talking about something else.
I think it's about Coyote Pass or something.
Yeah, maybe. Because then they show them, like signing the papers or, having this little powwow about the land. And that's when she says that, she's going to look out for herself. So, what I don't understand is with the land is why it's so complicated for them. If there's 4 people left, why can't it be divided equally amongst those 4 people? That's the part I don't understand. Or is it all about the parcels? Well, I think it's because when Christine left and she quit claimed her interest to Kody, I believe, or maybe even Kody and Robin. So,
and what's a quick claim? What's that?
You basically just sign a deed saying, I give whatever interest I have in this property to this person.
Okay, got it.
So, towards the end of the last season, I recall or maybe the season before, they were talking about how Christine had done that. And then Meri said, okay, well, what happens to her share? Who gets it? And Kody said, I do. And then Meri was saying something about, well, that doesn't seem right, because basically Meri had 2 acres, Janelle had 2 acres, and then Kody and Robin together had like 8 acres. Or, I don't know, somehow it turned out like that. And so now I think this is coming back around now, because I think on paper, again, this is the problem, because these people didn't have any sort of written agreements. It was all on the honor system.
Well, and also we saw with Christine too, you could tell that Christine was like, yeah, sign another one of those big balloon payments. Like, I think that's the other one too, is I think Christine was also pointing out the fact that we kept doing this. Like, this keeps happening and I'm sick of this shit,
Yeah. And she knew she was never going to get anything out of that property. So she just didn't care. But so I think that's going to be the issue, is that they're just going to want to give Meri and Janelle 2 acres each, and then Kody and Robin are going to take the rest. So,
and he's going to claim, well, listen, Christine gave me hers, so no, you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, and I think Kody and Robin already had disproportionately more to begin with. I can't remember but I remember that conversation where Meri was just like, "What the hell? Like, why do I have 2 acres and the rest of you each have 4 acres?"
Yeah, which is a very, very good question. Very good question. So, and that's it. Yeah. Wow, this was a good episode, I have to say. So I'm hoping we're on a trajectory into better places. I think this was really good because they were being much more transparent and honest about how they felt and what really happened, which is all what people want. And also because they were together more. Janelle and Christine were in the same room.
Yeah.
Kody and Robin and Meri are in the same room. Like, that's what we need. And we can't keep doing. And it was very few of the Kody confessionals lamenting. There was a lot of lamenting, but it was far less than we normally get.
No, I could do without those.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you enjoyed this episode, thank you so much for tuning in. There are lots of ways you can support us. The first way is to leave us a 5-star rating and review. That really does help us out. And, spread the word, tell a friend, share the podcast with someone, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you enjoy us and want to hear even more from us, then you can go over to our Patreon, patreon.com/psychlegalpop podcast. We do a weekly bonus over there. We have a couple different tiers. We do an Ask Us Anything for our $8 tier and a true crime. So go check us out. We have lots of great stuff over there. And follow us on social media at PsychLegalPop on Instagram or TikTok. And we'll be back on Thursday. We're here Tuesdays with Sister Wives and Thursdays with documentaries and such. So if you enjoy the Sister Wives, come back and for the Thursday show as well.
All right.
That's it. Thank you,
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.